Thank you for sharing your inner beauty with us through your voice and through your music. I feel the love here. Thank you. It is wonderful to look out, and I loved it on the screen when we could see everybody and we all started waving. It was wonderful. I'm Connie Parsons, and I have been a board member for the Gather the Women for the past 2 years. And I have 5 minutes tonight to tell you about what we've been doing in Gather the Women. So it's very tempting to talk very quickly because there is a lot happening. But instead, I'm just going to give you a few highlights. This past year, our first 2 continental congresses have become a reality. The North American Congress, Weaving a World That Works, was held in Canada in June, with over 200 Canadian and American women attending. Very enthusiastic women. I was one of them, and it was really exciting to be there. In December, the African Women's Congress, Women Building Communities, was held in Kenya, with 450 rural African grassroots leaders and 40 American women attending. At the Congress, the women learned, often from each other, from women from other villages and parts of Africa, about purifying water, solar cooking, about how they could form microfinancing loaning co-ops in their own villages among the women. And the thing that amazed me the most, they learned how to help a woman with HIV give birth to a healthy baby. And these women have now gone back to their villages and are teaching others what they've learned. Some of them are saying they want to get ready to run for Parliament. And so they're asking for more leadership training. And right now, Gather the Women is in conversation with the women themselves about how to best design that. The next 2 continental congresses will be coming up this year. In Sydney, Australia, July 6th through 8th, and also in Salvador, Bahia, Brazil, at the end of October. And we're in the planning process for a Congress in India and one in Europe in 2008. Yes. And the latest hot-breaking news is that last week in New York City, 15 women from Gather the Women participated as official delegates in the United Nations meetings for the Council on the Status of Women. Gather the Women has been working as part of a coalition of women's organizations called 5WWC to build grassroots support to persuade the United Nations to convene a 5th Women's World Conference in 2010. We came to the meetings in New York for that purpose, to generate more widespread support among all of the delegates. We've just learned that something amazing happened this past Saturday. While 15 to 20 women were in a 5WWC meeting, sitting in circle, a woman representative from the United Nations arrived to join them. And she came to offer her complete support to make the 5th World Women's Conference happen with the shared leadership terms set out by the grassroots organizers. The United Nations now wants to be a part of and support the grassroots women's movement, which has been emerging around the world. The key here is that the United Nations has now designated an official representative to work at the grassroots level using circle principles in a shared leadership capacity. So, yes. So tonight, you are literally among the first to learn that the plan announced at that meeting on Saturday is to hold the conference in 2010, possibly in Sofia, Bulgaria. So, if you would like to help continue to build the groundswell of support to make sure this happens, we have petitions that we will start just passing down the aisles on clipboards so that if anyone would like to sign, you have that opportunity. There are a few extra copies on the clipboard so that if you want to take a blank one and make copies and pass them around to your friends, that would be wonderful too. And all of these petitions will go to the new Secretary General of the United Nations. So I want to conclude with two examples of the ripples of change that start with the personal and surprisingly often move to the global. In a gathering we held in Los Angeles, a woman stood up and said, "I learned all about French intensive gardening, and I dreamed of teaching it to women in South America who live in poverty so that they could grow food in very small spaces. When I told my husband I wanted to go there, he said, 'No way.' Then I came to your conference in Dallas. I sat in a circle with women I had never met. I shared my dream with them, and I asked them, 'What would you do if your husband said, no way?' I received amazing support, and I went home, and I told my husband what I had to do." She said that now he's very proud of her and waves goodbye as she goes back each year.